Hi, today is opening day of Alabama's turkey season. I don't turkey hunt, so I'm going to go deer scout today. I know a lot of guys out there in the woods chasing them birds around, and I wish you a lot of luck, but I'm going to go out there, I'm going to scout hardcore, try to locate a big buck that I spotted last year, and maybe I can get a little more in-depth knowledge of how he walks the terrain, travels back and forth through these clear cuts, through these pine thickets, nasty, trashy, gorges, you name it. That's his life. I'm going to get right there with him and see if I can't figure him out today. Maybe I can locate one of his primary bed areas. That would be awesome. I've located one of his primary bed areas on a previous scouting trip, but I don't really think he spends majority of his time in that spot. He's coming from the other direction, so that's the direction I'm going to scout today. I'm going to backtrack him and see if I can't get in on top of him and try to figure out some kind of game plan for next year to kill him. That's my goal for today. Wish me luck. Well, I'm fixing to scout this little corner out right here. I had a really big buck encounter early season last year, and I'm not real sure where this deer is bedding or how he's accessing this corner in and out. I found one of his beds on the other side. It's clear cut and he's bedding out in it, but I really have a feeling that he's coming in this back corner a lot and maybe bedding in the head of this. There's a little gorge here, so we're gonna actually check it out. So figure this deer out one way or another. You just never know when you sneak up on an area like this whether you'll jump a deer out of the clear cuts. I know I've seen these deer bedding in this clear cut before, and I know that to my right I jumped a good buck out of that corner. My wind right now is blowing out into the clear cut from this angle, so thought I might just sit here and see if a deer gets up and moves. I tell you, the deer trails in these clear cuts like this you wouldn't think would be so open and easy to follow, but you can just literally walk these trails with ease. It's gonna carry me right over here to this little point. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a deer or two bedded on this point. I'm probably fixing to get them up. We'll see whether we get them on film or not. Are they gonna get up and run, stay in this stuff? It's thick enough to hide. It's a pretty well beat down trail right here. He probably gonna go out the back door. I'll never see him, but there's gotta be a deer bed right over here. Got to be. Just stand real still right here just a second. There's some big tracks in this trail. Maybe one will get nervous and jump up and run. I don't see one yet. He gotta be bedding right here. This trail splits off this main trail going uphill right here, so we're going to take this trail up the hill just a little ways. See if I can tell where he's bedding. Where you at, buddy? Got to be right here somewhere. Where you at, buddy? Well, there's a deer bed right there. It ain't fresh. Alright. There's deer bedding in here. That's a good sign. There's some deer beds right there's an old deer bed. Like where a rabbit laid there. Little deer bed right there. Could be a old deer bed there. They laying in here. I knew they would be. Alright, I need to figure out where the big one's laying, because I don't think he's laying out here. You can tell they've been some deer bedding right in here in this little knob. I know I just jumped a deer right here behind me. There's fresh droppings. They still shiny. It's probably doe droppings. So I just probably got that deer up right there. But these deer, they'll bed all in this stuff. I'm up on a high hump out in this clear cut. Even in these clear cuts, deer want to bed on a hump. They had escape routes. They have to have escape routes. They use that ditch. I don't know if you can see that ditch on film. Man, these briars are tough. There was a ditch right there behind me. That deer just jumped in that ditch. Small ditch, not a big ditch. That deer jumped in that ditch and took off. Here's a deer bed right here. One been laying here. One been laying there. One been laying there. One been laying there. You see every one of these little matted down spots in here. Deer been laying right over there. Looks like another matted spot there. These deer bed all in here. That's a pretty good spot right there, matted down. Where they've been laying. They lay all in this sage grass in and around these old pine trees. You find a little spot like this right here, it's probably doe bedding, but you know you got a pretty good group of deer. You see the old deer beds, about as many old deer beds as you do new deer beds. But these deer, when they get up, there's a big old bed right there. Good night alive. Big old matted down area right over there. I bet there's some in these pines too. When you find a place like this, they just, yep, there's a really big bed right there. Really right up in these pines. See, that right there, more than likely is where a buck's bedded. There's another bed right there. He bedding in these pines right here. Shade. I know good and well they deer hair in this bed. Oh yeah, they deer hair in it. Yeah, it's a good bed right here. This bed here is a big deer laying down. And you see he's up in these pines. All these does are scattered all around him. 40 yards over there you got doe bedding, bunches everywhere. Over there you got doe bedding, and right here you got this clump of pines on this point just off to one side. And I believe this might be one of his bed spots right here in amongst all these pines. So I like this. This is another piece of the puzzle. This is starting to make sense now. On the other side of this gorge is another spot just like this. And this buck is bedding in that same spot, almost identical on the opposite side in a different clear cut. That's a big bed right there. That's what I'm looking for. Big old matted out area where he's been laying. All right. Good deal. Follow this trail back and see where it's heading to the gorge, because that's where I want to set up. We'll follow this trail right here. I believe this will be his trail that he walks, staying in this thickest stuff, going that direction. See where it goes. Yeah, this same trail that went out there, and it got right to the edge of the opening where there weren't no pine trees, and it hooked a left and come right back in here. So this is a good buck trail right here. Some big old droppings right there in this trail. There's another buck bed right there. That's a big bed. There's a big bed there. He is. Oh, there's a big bed up there too on that little knob, just a little knob, 2 foot rise, 3 foot rise. A big bed on it. He's spending more time in this corner than he is out there in the clear cut. That's pretty obvious. I like this spot. Dude, I'm gonna get this buck. He just don't know it yet. Man, I gotta figure out how he's getting in and out of here where I can hunt him, because I can't really hunt him with a bow and arrow out in this stuff here. I find a trail going in and out though. He might be in trouble. This is pretty cool out here. You got like a little dirt mound here. There's a bed on top. Got a little dirt mound here. There's a big old bed on top right here. This joker's been laying in this bed a lot. I'm 99% sure that I have found the primary bedding. I don't know if you can see all the deer hair on this video or not, but this thing's just covered up in deer hair. Let me grab some here, see if you can see it on camera. I can't see in this 3-inch viewfinder whether y'all can see it or not, but anyway, it's covered up in deer hair, just full of deer hair. All these beds are, every one of them on these little knobs. So I'm gonna waypoint this spot right here. Oh, these briars have got me ate up. This joker's all in here. I mean, you can tell he's spending a lot of time in this corner right here. These briars are head high. It's thick as crap in here. And there's so many trails. Another bed right there. There's so many trails coming in and out. There's another bed over. Good night alive. I bet there's 20 beds in here, if there's one. Counting the doe bedding and the buck bedding, there's probably more. I mean, these are just the ones I can see easily. There's another marked, laid out spot right over there. Every one of these dirt humps and mounds has got bedding. There's another. You see through the trees there. There's another buck bed right there. Them some big old droppings too. These are huge droppings. Can you see? He's got it laid down to the dirt. Got deer droppings all in his bed. Deer hair. I can see deer hair from here. These bucks are bedding right here. I found a primary buck bed area. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. These are bigger droppings right there that you can see. You know, they're a lot bigger around, so that's a mature deer. When you start seeing them dime-sized droppings like that, you know you're on a big one. Alright, I gotta figure out a way to get in and out of here or the trail he uses to get in and out of here, it's gonna be tough. They ain't never in a good spot, that's for sure, to hunt. They always make it tough on you. There's another bed right there. He's laying everywhere in here. He just gets up, mills around, lays down. That's what they do. I don't know if you can tell or not, but he been laid up in here under this shade from over there to over here. All this whole thing. That's an 8-foot long bed. That's probably longer than 8 foot area where he been bedding. Deer droppings all in it, where he been bedding. Old deer droppings, new deer droppings, even fresh deer droppings over there. Good night. I love this stuff. Alright. Now we on to something. I think this is going to be the main trail going in and out of here. It is covered up in deer droppings, old and new. Another deer bed. You're going to be walking into deer beds everywhere in here. There is a ton of deer beds in here, all over the place. Another deer bed there. I love this stuff. This is what I'm looking for right here. Area just like this. This trail is pretty beat down right here, where they've been going in and out. There's another deer bed over there. Boy, you can't walk 20 yards in this mess. There's another matted area right there. You can't walk 20. Let's see how thick this stuff is. People say, well, this is too thick for deer. Dude, when you get out in this stuff, it opens up with deer trails everywhere. Deer beds everywhere. But it's in the right spot. That's the key. Because you can walk the rest of this clear cut. This might be a 100-acre clear cut. You can walk the rest of this clear cut and you might not find this everywhere. It's in key locations. There was a hump out here in this clear cut, made a little ridge, some ditches, series of ditches, and these deer are bedding on these little knobs on these series of ditches out here in the thickest part of this clear cut, where you just can't get to them. That's where these deer are in this particular spot. Now if I can get out of here. One last look at what you're looking at. Ow! You just got to, a deer is going to plow his way in here. You got to plow your way in here, and this ain't nothing but virgin briar. You get down on one knee where a deer's level is, and they'll make these little tunnels through all this stuff. Now a lot of folks ain't gonna come out here and even attempt to locate deer bedding in this stuff. It's like it's 360 degrees all the way around me. I'm in a solid jungle of briars, brambles. I gotta get out of here. I found a bed area. Now I gotta figure out how to hunt it. Alright, I'm coming out of the edge of this clear cut here. There's a trail going up this little hump, getting into some pine trees here. There's another trail over there going up that hump. There's one big track. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's one really big track right there. It's an old track. It's not real fresh, but this is the one I want to follow. Is this? Try to stay on this trail that I think he's going in and out of this bed area with. If I get right here, somewhere in this corner, these trails split. They go different ways. I'm gonna have a lot of scouting to do in here. See if I can pinpoint all these trails spread out as soon as they get to this pine. Maybe I can find a pinch in here where he's coming together. All these trees, they ain't about, you ain't gonna be able to get 10 foot in the air in none of these trees. But you know what? That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. This is the big tracks right here. I'm gonna try to stay on this main trail here. They splits left, splits right. They spread out. But I see in front of me is some really, really thick trash that might just funnel them around one edge or the other. We'll see. I don't think he's going to go right through that. It'd be too noisy. He's in this pine straw now. He's going to stay quiet. So he ain't going to walk right through there. He'll go around this edge, or he'll go around this edge. We're going to go around this, see if we can't find a pinch. There's a lot of punch down tracks in this coming right around. If you look right here, that's just too noisy. All the tracks, the punch marks go right around the edge of this and to my left over there in the pine straw. So this is just kind of, it's too noisy in here. There's a tree right there that I could probably set a stand in, but I'd have to go right into that noisy mess. I can't get a shot to the other side, but there's a better tree behind me. I think I could get in this tree right here. It ain't much, but that is my tree right there. I can get a stand right there in that tree. That's perfect. So that's tree stand location number 1 in this pinch. And this is a good pinch. What makes it a good pinch is that thick trash around my, I get a lock on right up there. I'm gonna fix this tree up right here where I can get a lock on right about there in the bend of it. I have good cover all around me. I like this spot. Get a 15-yard shot in here. So there's a few openings in there. Once he comes around there, that's 10-yard. I should be able to squeeze air in there. If he comes here under this trail, it's 3-yard shot. It's gonna be close, but I like this spot. I'm gonna waypoint this tree. Some of you guys may know what this is. I don't know if these deer are feeding on this or not, but there's a lot of punch marks in and around these trees. Some kind of bud dropping off. I'm sure something's feeding on them. I'm gonna have to research this tree to try to figure out what kind of tree it is. Here's one of the buds that's fell off of it, or almost looks like some kind of nut, but it ain't, full of seeds. I have to research this, see if deer feed on it. It might be an even better spot because it's a food source. Who knows? I'm on the other side of that hump, trashy spot right there that the deer are actually walking around. And it looks good on this side too. There's a lot of deer trails. And there's another little trashy spot right there. And in between these two little trashy spots, all these trails pinched together right here. And you got a lot of historical rubs in here on these trees. They've killed quite a few trees in here. A lot of rubs. This might even be better on this side. And I don't know what would be the best tree to get in, because I need to come in from the top. Be the easiest way in here. But there's a beat down trail coming in from the top. There's a pine tree right here that's big enough to get a tree stand in. Right here, you could clean that pine tree right there up, and every one of these trails go within 10-15 yards of that pine. So I'm gonna waypoint that pine as well. There's a hump over there. I'm first looking to see if there's beds on that hump. If they are, I might be tricky. It won't stop me from hunting it, but it might change the wind direction selection that I use. We'll see. I'm gonna waypoint this pine. All these trails come right around this one pine. I don't know. It's about the biggest pine in here. The rest of them are real small. So I like this little spot. Looks like I can trim out a few limbs up top, maybe have a few 15, 10-yard shots in here. Well, one good thing is there's no deer bedding on any of these humps, but there could be a critter or two living on this one here. Looks like they've dug it out recent. I'm on the other side, fixing to get pretty close to the clear cut where I actually saw the big buck. And he may have actually came from this direction, which is why I wanted to scout this side out. But I've got a little trail there, one there, a little main trail right here, and all these trails are pinching together right here, going around the head of this draw. And just the other side over there is where I had him, basically 25 yards broadsided from me, and I just screwed the shot up. He may have come in that trail over there. His trail over there dropping off that steep bank, dropping down into this little gorge. So this is going to be, I need to pay real close attention and scout this out real heavy, see what he's doing here. I want to climb up on this hump. There's one, he dropped off that gorge, steep bank there. You can see where he jumped off that thing and slid. You can see where he's coming up and down right here, sliding. It's a real steep bank right here. I thought he could be bedding right here. I don't never put nothing past these jokers. And if he's bedding right here, he's been watching me the whole time, but I do not see a bed anywhere up here. And that is what I wanted to eliminate, if nothing else. But he's coming in this corner pretty heavy. Right down in there is going to be a good spot. I just got to find it. I like it. I kind of like this spot. They come bailing off these little old high humps, and they drop right down into this drainage, but a lot of them are crossing right up there, kind of high. But early season they're gonna come down this direction, because right below me we're gonna have some acorn trees, and this is gonna be their access on the left side and the right side. I hunted, I was literally, I think, in that tree right there when I had him 25 yards from me and couldn't get a shot on him. I think that's the tree I was in. Looks like it. So really got to figure out where to. Late in the evenings, the air sucking down this drainage. I need to move up a little bit further in this thing so I can get access to this crossing behind me. I can access it from down there and walk up real quiet. Can't access it from the other side and be quiet. It's just impossible. But I'm far enough away from bedding in this location. I can definitely cut me a trail in and come in the side and catch them right in here somewhere. It's going to take some effort to put a tree stand right here and actually have a shot on a deer, because once you get up in the canopy over 10 foot high, you're going to be in trouble with a shot. I believe I might just sit on the ground right there in that corner. They all got to go past that corner right there. I might just hunt the ground right here. Have a whole lot better opportunity at a shot. We'll mark this as ground blind. I know that this will be covered up in leaves, but I kind of want to semi-mark this spot right here. This is going to be my ground setup right here. I'm actually going to use one of these humps to my advantage right here. All these deer trails, I'll be able to look back up through there behind me, and I'll hear those deer when they come off that big hump over there. When they come down in there, I'll lose them, but I'll be looking that direction. I think I'll hear them. They come in on the bottom side, I'll never hear them, so I'm going to be focused down there more than anything. But all those trails pinch together, and they come right up over that little knob right there on the end, and they'll end up right here across this little opening. So from here to there is a 15-yard shot. Right there's the trail. It is all coming down to one trail. That's the trail that I saw him on last year, early season. He was probably circling around, and I need the wind in my face right here, because I think what he's doing down in that draw is acorns. Early season, he's circling around the head of this draw. He's coming up out of that bed area over yonder where I was at, working his way around through here, because I got two other stand locations I can cut him off from here to there. By the time he gets here, I'll be on a ground blind set up. The wind's right here. I can catch him circling around the head of this, scent checking that draw before he goes in there to eat acorns. I think that's what he's doing, scent checking that draw. See if he smells any deer down there, or hears any deer down there feeding, and he's gonna circle around this feed area before he enters into it. It's a pretty good ambush spot right here. I like this. I'm excited about it. I know you can't see him, but just jumped a nice buck right here. He headed back that direction. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see if he was going to come around this pinch here when I run him out of that corner. And this is where he came. Yes, sir. Well, that was a nice buck. He was standing literally right in the edge of these pines. Good deal. Well, I wasn't expecting to find deer beds here, but there's a deer bed here, another deer bed there, another deer bed over there. That was the last thing I expected to see right here in this spot. There's just no way I would have ever imagined a deer wanting to bed right here. They're not fresh beds, but this is where I jumped that deer, and I think this might be doe bedding, because that was a buck I jumped. There's a lot of deer droppings in here though, old deer droppings, nothing real fresh. But you can see how thick it is. I got one tree. I'm looking to get to the edge of that clear cut right there, and that's where he was walking, right dead on the edge. And I got another one of those slick bark trees right there. I can come dead straight in. There's a corner right here. I can't tell where it's at, but some of these guys watching will know where I'm at. But I could put me a lock-on stand right there in that, and I'm looking at another 10-yard shot. Trail goes dead under that tree, so it's either a straight down spine shot or a 10-15 yard max shot to the edge over there. I waypointed this. I like this spot. Well, I don't mark a spot I don't like, so I guess I'm gonna like all these spots. They could be doe bedding right here at some point, which is crazy because it doesn't. I mean, right here on this side, it's just a little pinch of trees in between this clear cut, and that is just so thick. I don't even see. I mean, I see a little bit of a faint tunnel trail coming out right there. I don't even see trails coming out of that anywhere to this spot, so it makes me think they're walking the edge on this side of this little finger of pines that stick out between these two clear cuts, or they're walking in the pines. But this trail in the side's not that worn down, so interesting. Okay, I walked about 20 yards up, and I can see the trail right here in between these, I don't know, two clumps of dirt. This is one of the ways they're accessing this finger. Looks like they may be cutting through this finger to the other side. I ain't walked over here yet, but it looks like it's gonna be a trail. Ow! Looks like there's gonna be a trail coming through this privet edge right here. By the way, these things right here, you don't want to grab a hold of those jokers. They will mess your day up. But they got a historical rub right there, and they kind of got it beat down to dirt. They're coming out of this privet right here. So this is where I want to set up, right here somewhere in this corner. Ideal spot. Yep, that corner right there where the privet is, those deer are walking right through that privet, and that's how they're accessing this little pinch. That stuff there, it's even so thick a deer won't walk through it. You say a deer won't walk through it, they won't walk through that normally. I mean, they can plow through it, they can jump over it, but they're just not going to walk through it. That's the only gap right there. There's a gap over there and a gap over there, and they follow that pinch down to where my tree is. There's no tree over here that I can get in, that I can see. Maybe there's a couple of trees in here I can get in, but I can't get a shot. I'm pretty much limited to getting in that tree over there, which is not bad. It's only 20 yards away to get the wind right. I'll see them come out of here. If I give a little soft grunt, well, they're gonna just turn and come right straight to me. But you got some big old clump deer droppings in here like crazy. So that big old buck, he's squeezing through this corner right here. There's no doubt about it. Man, it's thick. Deer do love it thick. Alright, I've gone about 50 yards further down this clear cut edge. Ow! Good night, there's a lot of briars in here. I done lost a quart of blood, I think. And I done found another major little intersection of trails right down here going into this other clear cut. I know good and well this is gonna be one of them trails that heads to another major bed area. I like this spot. Good trail coming inside this stuff. There's no place to put a tree stand over here at all. I don't know how I'm gonna hunt this, but I at least wanna pay attention. These deer trails going everywhere right here. This is a major intersection right here. I think what I'm gonna wanna do, I'm gonna stand out here in this clear cut a little ways where this main trail comes across. A lot of trails zigzagging in here. Look back. I can get a tree stand in that tree right there. And there's one right there I can get in. So I'm gonna waypoint probably that tree over there, because if I waypoint that one, I'll be dead on top of the trail because they walk dead under that tree. I come in from that side, maybe I can stay off that trail just a little bit. I can slip up in there. I won't be about 12 foot off the ground, but I can slip right in there and probably get a shot right here. Do a little bit more scouting first. I tell you the truth, in all honesty, I don't think I can even bow hunt this right here. These trails, are just, there's nothing to pinch them down anywhere except right there where I was at. That one tree, that last tree I pointed at, could be a potential stand site. I'll waypoint it. But once you get out here, these trails just go every way. I like that point of trees over there. I'm going to walk this edge all the way back to that point of trees. I find something interesting over there, I know I can put a stand over there. So I can't bow hunt this particular section of it right here. The trails just, they don't congregate together anywhere that I can get a bow shot. But boy, if I was a gun hunter, these deer be in trouble for sure. You could pick them off out here in this clear cut. This is a big old flat, wide open area for a long ways. You get down in here and it looks open. Looking back at it from a hillside, looking at it, it looks wide open. But you get down in here, you get on a deer's level. This is what they're looking at. This is the kind of trails they walk. And a rack buck walking through here, even if you was way over 100 yards where you can see down in this stuff, you barely gonna even see the tip of his horns unless he's a giant. You might catch him. You have to look at the sun glistening on an ear or something, you know. Because once you get down in here, these jokers can stay hid easily. I think I might be able to trim out some limbs on one side of this thing or the other. Come up the back side of this tree. If I come up the back side of that tree right there, leave all these limbs down below, and then just trim out a couple of limbs right up there where I can get a lock on in amongst all them limbs, I believe I can get me a shot off right here on a deer. It'd have to be a morning hunt, because I'd be staring right dead into the sun on the afternoon hunt. You can't see anything from the ground at all. It's just not going to happen. But just a little ways over, about 20-25 yards, is where a lot of these deer trails pinch together. There's one trail. It's not much of a trail. It comes through all these dry leaves. It goes out right here under this tree, and it pinches to the left and right. But out yonder is the best spot. Right there is the best shot I can get. This is the tree. I'm gonna waypoint this one. I'm gonna talk about this little spot right here just for a second. This is not a major bed area right here in this spot. This is a pinch point between two major bed areas in this clear cut. All these trails pinch together over there about 25 yards, 20 to 25 yards away from me. That's a doable shot for me. I don't like to take shots much over that, but I may have to trim a couple of these little old pines out. I don't know. You can't do a whole lot in a place like this because, well, this is timber management lands, and you don't want to go in here and cut their trees out. I think once I get up there in that tree, I'll have plenty of gaps and openings. I won't even have to trim nothing, because that sage grass over there is kind of an open gap in all this mess, and those deer are walking in that open gap where the sage grass is. So there is a trail that comes around behind this tree, which would be a straight down above them shot. I don't expect a big buck to walk that trail. He could, but I like this spot. I've got it well marked, and that's what I'm looking at as a pinch point. The tree I've actually picked is that sweet gum tree right there. It's not a big tree, but it's about the biggest tree in here. And earlier in the year, I should have plenty of cover on it. Later in the year, I'm probably gonna stick out like a sore thumb. But I'm literally standing in the trail right here, the one trail that comes by it, going over to that other clear cut in this little finger. So I'm right at the very end of this little finger right here. So And that's what you're looking at. I just don't think the deer will walk in that. They're either gonna walk this edge, or they're gonna walk 20 to 25 yards out in that edge, or they're gonna cut across right here at the end of this finger. Pretty good setup. Well, I'm back at the truck, and I found some good stuff. I ain't gonna lie. It was well worth the trip coming out here today and stomping through briars. I probably lost a quart of blood, but I'll get over it. Everybody needs to donate a little bit of blood every now and then, you know what I mean? Long story short, I found this primary bed area. I found several pinch spots that I think I could set up tree stands in. It's nasty, it's thick. This is going to be close shots, 15 yards, 10 yards. I have one area that I can maybe stretch a shot out to 25 yards out into the clear cut. All the trees I'm going to be in are, I might get 20 foot high in one tree, but I doubt it. They're all going to be pretty close to the ground, low to the ground. One ground blind location. Let me get it right. Get tongue tied here. That turned out to be a pretty good scout trip. I almost didn't go. I'm glad I didn't.